Now it's time for today's perspective. And best in the world, best for the world. It's something of a mission for my guest on the programme today. Mikkel Friis-Holm is a Danish chef who founded his company Friis-Holm Chocolate with the desire to become one of the top 3 chocolate makers in the world. This week, luckily for us, he's here in Paris at the Salon de Chocolat, or chocolate conference, if you like, I suppose, to show off his wares, and he's come in to join us. Thanks for coming in. I've got a bar here, so I'm going to ask the first question and try it, because I've got to give my reaction, haven't I? First of all, just tell us how this started for you, this love of chocolate.
Well, it all started actually in the US. I was a chef. I worked with the Sweet Salad Kitchen. Someone told me I did California cooking. I was like, what's that? I had to go to California to find out. First place I landed to work is a pastry shop where there is one of our frequent guests had just started a chocolate factory, the first new chocolate factory in the United States in more than 50 years, back in 97, 98. And I just, like Obelix, I fell into the pot and never escaped. So.
Very nice way of putting it. It's very good. I've got a 70% dark chocolate here. It's very, very nice, I have to say. You got into a contact, didn't you, with a major cocoa producer in Nicaragua. This was back in 2007.
2007-8, I got into contact with a project that had the idea that if the farmers grew a higher quality of cacao, something like when you have grapes for wine, Merlot, Cabernet, like this. If we could do the same with cacao, having the farmers grow a more specific crop.
Yeah, we can see them here.
Yeah. We would have a better quality of cacao to serve a burgeoning, starting craft chocolate industry. So this is the idea, and we created 6 new clones, 6 new varieties of cacao. We had more than 300 farmers planned out, but at the same time, we also created inside this program the logistics of having the farmer farming and professionals doing the post-harvest fermentation and drying. And this way I get the best cacao in the world, the most consistent cacao, the most flavorful cacao.
I'm finding it difficult to talk because I've got chocolate in my mouth. It's very nice. And it also helps, of course, obviously, the farmers themselves too.
All these farmers, more than 300 farmers, went from poverty into a lower middle class environment, empowering them to send their kids off to high school after normal school, stuff like this, which of course is how it should be all over the world in all situations, but sometimes, or especially in the third world, is rarely the case. I didn't do this to save the world, but I think to make a high quality product, you have to meet your suppliers on an equal stance, look them in the eye and say, I need the farmers just as much as they need me to pay a decent amount. I need them to make the quality of cacao that can deliver me cacao making world-class chocolate.
Yeah, what do you think when you see the sort of cheaper marks, as it were, brands on sale, on offer?
Well, it's a sad story, and we should all be ashamed of buying it. But that's a whole big discussion. I mean, year after year, even sometimes month after month, there are documentaries showcasing how the farmers in especially West Africa, which is almost 7% of the world's cacao, are underpaid to a degree where it's tragic. Kids don't go to school, do hard manual labor they should never do, even a couple of 100,000 slave children in the cacao industry, and then all the cutting down rainforests to plant cacao. So it's all bad, and it's all sad, and it's a different kind of way of making a product where I know to make the best quality chocolate in the world, I need the best quality cacao. They need the cheapest possible cacao, and for this they have a supply chain where they just underpay all kinds of tragic stuff.
Yeah. Well, you started off, before you started your own company, you were working for a French company, actually, weren't you?
Yeah.
Juice chocolate. But you wanted to make it, I know you sort of say, for all the way from bean to bar.
Yeah. When I got my first supply of beans from this project in Nicaragua, I didn't have a chocolate factory. But with looking around and using my contacts and network, I quickly realized that the only place that you still had family-owned, traditional, high-quality gourmet chocolate factories in the world was France. There was a few families, and I contacted Stéphane Bonnat and Franck Morin down in south of France, and I came down and we agreed that they would help me make my chocolate in the beginning. But I needed to do it on my own, so after a few years, I managed to raise the money and buy my own chocolate factory and produce everything myself since 2014.
So what is it about chocolate then? What do you love about it?
For me, it's kind of a magical product. I mean, for most people, I think it might be. It has those things where your brain just explodes in happiness if it's good. But I think what drew me in was more the thing that this was an underexplored, in terms of high quality, no one had really done the Grand Cruise ever. There were some really fantastic manufacturers, especially here in France, that have done fantastic work. But chocolate is a very young product. It's not even 200 years old. It's something that was invented because we had industrialization. Before that, it was all drinking chocolate. The chocolate bar, the chocolate as we know it when we talk about chocolate, is quite young and was always made for a growing middle class as a candy, something where you were like, oh, this is nice, I can afford it. No one had ever tried to lift it up to where what you can do with beer, coffee, wine. And I think this is what is happening these last 10, 20 years, is that we're all together, chocolate makers, exploring the possibilities of high quality chocolate.
And talking about all being together, you are, in fact, this week, aren't you, at the Salon de Chocolat here in Paris. You were telling me a couple of hundred different manufacturers from all around the world.
Some, I think we're probably like 20, 25 that actually make the chocolate ourselves, or even more, 40, 50 make our chocolate ourselves. And then there are a lot of people that make candy or use it in cakes. There's different competitions, patisserie, stuff like this. So it's a big exhibition which draws in a lot of people. It's the biggest chocolate show in the world, and it's also for me a place to go to show what I can do, but also perhaps meet other buyers or shops or professionals from around the world who want to use good chocolate. So it's part of my business to doing this.
Yeah, well, you've certainly made it. I know you wanted to be one of the top 3 chocolate makers in the world. I've had a taste. I think he's done it.
We did. I am reigning world champion.
Oh, you are reigning world champion? I didn't even know that. Well, there you go. He is reigning world champion. Well said. Thank you very much for coming in to talk to us, Mikkel Friis-Holm. Danish chef, his company, Friis-Holm Chocolate. It's very nice, I can say that. Thanks a lot.